Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 52 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we kind of started to finish off Gleba. We made some overgrowth soil using biter eggs, and then we set up kind of like a what's going to happen to the biter eggs now and maybe later once we are done with our overgrowth soil. And speaking of which, when I was editing the video, I noticed that I did not set this to an and. So I set this to or, this is supposed to be an and. Also, we are not going to turn these requesters off. These can stay active, and we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, so we're basically done with Gleba, and now we're at a point where we need to make a new ship to take us to Aquilo, the last planet. We're on the last leg. Also, I did some stuff around the base, and as you can see, I have a bunch of stacked belts. And if you want to see what all I did, I made a Discord exclusive kind of explaining everything that I did. It was like a 6-hour period, so it was quite a bit of stuff. Anyways, I had recorded for like 4 hours, and I was going to chop it up and hopefully make a good Discord exclusive on what all we did, but it was too painful, so I just made like an after the fact video. Anyways, so in this episode, we are creating a new ship. So I have taken the liberty to bring a bunch of stuff up that we are going to need. And it's going to be a pretty massive ship. We need something like 3,000 space platforms. Speaking of which, I ended up doubling up on that and adding in some speed modules. And because of how much of a pain it was to do this, to get these going and to get it was a very time consuming process. We're actually going to go ahead and start making platforms now. We can rename this later, but we're going to go ahead and make another one and kind of start the process of getting some of that stuff shipped up there. I would eventually like to remake all of my ships with the design that we're going to be using. So, yeah, so let's get into the design. So we are going to start with power, and I've got 2 nuclear reactors here, and similar to what we did with the other ship, they need to be one space out. So I need to update my bars too. Oh, did I not grab any blue ones? We don't need blue ones anyways. Not a big deal. We have epic of that. We have epic of this. Okay, so we need to bring in some power. I don't know why I'm filtering these. We don't need to filter this at all. It knows what it needs to get. Okay, so we are going to limit these. Similar to what we've done before. We're going to read temperature. Remove the filter. And we're going to enable if T is less than, let's say 550. I also have some solar panels here, so we can kind of start the process of getting some power. That was a bad place to put these. Let's do them across the top. It's going to be... I think we're going to do the top last. Alright, so these are going to have a bunch of them in there. That's fine. Oh, we need to set the stack to 1. And we're going to have heat pipes coming across the front and down the side over here. Next up, we need heat exchangers. And we're going to have 8. So this one produces 40 megawatts, and this one produces 40 megawatts. Together, they produce 120 because they have a neighbor bonus. 160. We're only going to be using 8 of the heat exchangers. The main reason for that is, despite the fact that we're going to have extra space on this platform, we do not have the space for extra stuff over here. So we are going to have some steam turbines, and we're going to have 8 wide by 6. And all of these can be connected so that they are evenly distributed. So that's going to take care of our power. Now we need some water. So for water, we need chemical plants, and we're going to go ahead and start working on the bottom and the thrusters. Okay, so all of these are going to be water. Ice melting to water. And water is going to come down through here. So I set this up in a very specific way, and the reason why is because we are also going to have explosives. The reason we're going to have explosives is because we are going to have some rockets on here, some rocket turrets, and we need water to create explosives. Yeah, we have a new crushing recipe. I don't even know what quality I have. We have a new crushing recipe that gives us copper ore along with iron ore. That gives us carbon and sulfur, and that gives us calcite and ice. So we have quite a bit of extra stuff to work with now. And these are going to be bringing in, obviously, the only place they can bring in. And this one's going to be bringing in over here because we need water here, and it also has to continue. Yeah, we'll get to that one in a second. Basically, we're going to be doubling up on the explosives. Okay, so we need some thrusters. Okay, so we are going to have a belt coming through here, similar to what we've done on other ships. Like this. Basically the same kind of concept, the same kind of setup. It's going to be very, very similar to this. Okay, so we will be storing water here, obviously. And we are going to have to underground here because the water will need to come through. So we're going to have more chemical plants on the other side. And we're going to have 5 on each side. One of these is going to be a new oxidizer, thruster oxidizer recipe. So this one is going to require iron ore and now additionally calcite. But as you can see on the right hand side, it creates 285 per second. The last one I think was 50. Okay, I mean before the quality upgrade, so it is 71.2 per second, and this one is 285 per second. So, and significantly less iron. This one needed 1.9 per second. This one needs 0.37 iron per second plus 0.18 calcite. So that is quite convenient. This is a much more efficient way of dealing with this. And the same goes with the oxidizer, sorry, the thruster fuel. This one also crafts faster and requires slightly less. 1.9 carbon for the old recipe and 0.037 carbon for the new one. The hard part is obviously water. Oh, speaking of water, we're on the... Yeah, we needed that to be down. Okay, so this is going to be water. We're going to have to jump through, obviously. We are going to... How about do it here? Yep, that works for me. I am so happy that we actually have, like, good machines this time around. I feel like it would have been a much different game if we had, let's see. Okay, so this is going to line up where our thrusters are going to go. So we have some epic. Oh, we already got some epic ones. So that's going to be right here. And we're going to add 4 more on the ends. And then the oxidizer will come down. We're going to have to actually add some platform in here. So let's just go ahead and do that. And we can store this here. Okay, and the same on the other side. Okay, and that's our storage. We can place pretty much whatever we want in here. It's going to end up being solar panels, so... I feel like we should have had more space in here. Oh, we are 1 too high. Oh, go me. That's better. And just because we can, why not? Okay, so that takes care of our fuel consumption. Now we need to make sure that we can process these asteroids. So we are going to bring our belts right along next to, whoops, too far. Right along next to these pipes. So that's going to be our indicator on this side. I need to get some more space platform. We're not going to go that far out. We're almost to the edge. Okay, so I need the explosives here, which we have. And this needs coal and sulfur. So unfortunately, we don't have coal. And we are going to need to be able to make coal. So we have a lovely little recipe here. Coal synthesis. So coal synthesis requires sulfur and carbon and water. So water we're going to have covered here. And as for the rest of it, we can bring it in through here. All right, so this is going to produce, with these machines, this is going to produce 0.95 coal. This is going to produce, are going to use 0.47 coal. So we have the ability to make an extra. There. And this is going to need to jump over this and oof, just squeezing it in there. Okay. So that's going to be our explosives. And these will need, like I said, we need the coal. This is going to be our coal. This is getting its supplies from this belt. And it has water coming in. Yep. So we are good on these. So why do we need explosives? Well, we need explosives because we are going to be making rockets, and rocket turrets require rockets. So let's, we need a assembler. We need the right assembler. I guess we should get the belt in first. So let's do belt here, because this can put this on the right side, and then this can also put this on the right side. Okay, rockets. Rockets need iron plates, and they need the whatchamacallit, the explosives. So we are making almost 2 per second, and these require 0.59 per second, so 1.77 per second. And so these will be plenty enough to cover that. Now we just need to get some iron in. So iron plate is going to be a little bit more funky. And the way that we're going to end up doing that is we are going to use foundries. So the foundry, there it is. Okay, so we're going to need to leave a little bit of room. Actually, I think this is going to be perfect here because we're going to have to do some belt weaving. So this is going to be making molten iron from calcite and iron ore. And we need molten iron coming out here. And this is going to be iron plates. So the molten iron is going to come up through here, give its molten iron to this guy for iron plates. So we are going to have so there's going to be some belt weaving, and there is definitely going to be some belt weaving. We're going to have this come, say, over to here. All right, so this has access to the explosives here. This one has access here, let's say. And we're going to need a long hand inserter for iron, and this one is going to have to get it from over here. No, that is not going to work. All right, we're going to have to long hand inserter this one from over here. So when we're putting things out that we want to have end up on our belt, we're going to end up using the stack inserters. So thankfully I brought some stack inserters with us. So this is going to jump all the way over because we're going to need this to cut in front of the foundry. And it is actually going to come into this belt here. And we are not going to deal, like, if possible, at least this time around, we aren't going to deal with the, oh, no. We are going to limit this one. But in general, we are going to try not to deal with the, like, any kind of inserters or splitters. Like, I want to have this be a completely, like, this whole thing is going to be used within itself. We're going to do something funky here, though. We are going to have, we're going to have a stack inserter basically collect from this belt, and then it will be tracking all of what we have on the main line, and it will determine whether or not it needs to put something onto the belt. Okay, so we need an output for this guy. And well, I guess it doesn't really matter. These can be on any part of the line. It doesn't matter one way or another. So we're going to double this up. So that's going to be our iron. So that one's good. Okay, but we need more than just copper. So we're also going to need some ammo. And for the ammo, we're going to be making red ammo. So we're going to need both yellow ammo and red ammo. Red ammo needs steel, so we still need molten copper. Or sorry, we need molten copper and we need molten iron to continue on. So for molten copper, we need calcite and copper ore. And then now this one can direct feed right into here. So this is our, okay, so that's going to be our copper plates. And as for the steel, we are going to have steel be one space here. And this is going to jump over and give this molten iron here. Or sorry, yes, molten iron. So now I want copper plates and I want steel to be on the same belt. So the way that we're going to manage that is like this. So this one will put out onto the right side of the belt here. And the copper will put out here onto the far side of this belt. So that is how we're going to get the steel and the copper together. And now we just need some yellow ammo. Yellow ammo needs iron plates. So that's going to be here. And I believe, oh, of course, wrong direction. All right. So that is going to be the last area for the iron plates. This is where that stops. So as much as we can feed into this, this is 7 per second, and this will eat 9.5 per second. So we're going to be adding some speed modules to this. Plus 21. That's 17. So this is 9.5. This is 17.8. And these require 1.8 each. Plus 3.54 plus... Okay, so that's plenty. This would even still be plenty. Okay, so we're going to leave 2 of these in here. And then this will need to go out. We're going to put this out on a belt over here. But we need this to kind of be able to go over it. So that's going to go here. Whew, all right. And then the ratio still kind of stands. So this is 1 of these for every 3 of these. So we are going to have this be... this can be like this. We're going to have to swing this around, though. Actually, we're going to have to swing both of them around. because now we need incoming for a long hand inserter. Like that. Okay, and then these can output onto a belt here. Now I'm going to opt to have this be on the far side just because we can't, we don't have storage on the space platforms. You can't put storage chests. So technically, if I put this here versus putting it here, I can actually store an extra 16 on this belt that I wouldn't be able to store if I had put it up here. So, you know, just a little something to know. We can kind of get rid of some of these. I don't think we still don't have power yet because we haven't started collecting anything. These guys are, oh, and yes, we need a return for these. Save a little bit of fuel. Okay, so now we need to get these onto the belt. And we are going to jump over here. We're actually going to go a little bit farther because we're going to have some other stuff happening over here. And where did our belt go? No, we're going to limit this with a stack inserter. These are not stacked, but we, you know what? They should be. Again, it's just more storage. Okay, so this is going to be the first situation. Well, both of these are going to be the first situation where we're going to have to, like, basically do the same thing that we did over here, right? So we have this one saying, hey, if you have less than 160, then you can activate. So we're going to do the same thing here. Thankfully, we have a stack inserter, so this can be a little bit higher value. So we're going to read all contents and hold all belts. And we're going to go with 300. So piercing ammo, enable if piercing ammo is less than 300. Yep, and that should be good. This one, we are going to read from over here. And you are going to enable, nope, not filter. You're going to enable if rockets are also less than 300. So we're going to set these to 300 and we're going to make our like good to go option be 200. So it will be a little bit less. Okay, so now we need some crushers because we need to kind of supply all of this. We need to be able to collect asteroids, which we kind of could have been doing this whole time, but I'm not too worried about it. I would like to get the internal stuff done first. What kind of crushers do we have? Epic. Okay, so these are going to go right next door. And we're going to have, yep, 5 of these. And these are going to be our kind of like main iron ore. Iron ore and copper ore. I know it would, like, I know whenever I initially designed this, like I really didn't, like I almost thought about having the belts go backwards because I was like, come on. These are going like right into here and this is our ammo supply. And I feel like the ammo supply is more important than the supplies down here. It's got to go all the way around. I was like, I thought about, but then I was like, no. I'm just going to stick to like a clockwise. Maybe one of these days I'll grow up here and actually, you know, have this go this way instead. Also, these need to be bringing in stuff too. Well, not this one. That one doesn't need anything, but this one needs... That one's good here. That one's good. That one's good. Actually, I would prefer... This one was like this. And we can always add more of these later if we need. Okay, so these need... They need to have something incoming. and we need stack inserters. Outputting. Here. Now we're going to do something funny. We're going to actually override the stack size. We're not going to do 16. We're going to do 4. And we're going to filter this for iron ore and copper ore. Back here, we're going to have, you can't, the asteroids don't stack, so it doesn't really matter. And we can just do that and this. And these will be filtered for asteroid, metallic asteroid chunks. So the reason why we're setting this to a stack of 4 is because it won't actually swing its arms until it has at least 4 to be able to put a stack onto the belt. And this provides 10 iron ore and 40 copper ore. So, or sorry, 4 copper ore. So if you have a situation where, like, you could potentially get stuck, right? So if one of these is full and the other one is not, and it's usually like the iron ore gets a little bit more full than the copper ore, if you can't only grab 4, then you're going to get stuck. At least the iron ore, you know, you can grab it twice. The copper ore, once it's get, you know, it's, you know, divisible by 4, and you would need 4 crafts of the iron ore for it to be divisible by, or sorry, 2 crafts of the iron ore for it to be divisible by 4. Yeah, so that's why we're going to do a stack of 4, or changing it to 4. Okay, so just above this one, we are going to have, we need a belt to come in here, and then we are going to have some more asteroid crushers, and this is going to be kind of like a recycler. Ah, if only I had, did I grab any of the blue inserters? I did not. All right, I'm going to get some blue inserters up here because I think this is the one situation where I want a blue inserter. I could probably just do a regular inserter, a regular blue instead of equality. Yeah. Okay, so as far as this goes, now, if for some reason we wanted to change these to these, like if we found that we had like not enough of this, we could always convert these. And if that was the case, then we would need these to be filtered. And that is going to be the filter that we have. Also, we need these to come out somewhere. And we're just going to wiggle this guy into here. And that will come out somewhere else. Actually, that will come out right here. Okay, so then did we get it? Yeah. All right, so these are going to be bringing in the metallic asteroid chunks. And this is going to be outputting the chunks and bringing in the chunks. So this is going to be filtered, again, kind of just in case. So we put the, we put the chunk, the thing to put the chunks back on the belt behind the one that's bringing it in, just in case, because it does have the option to make itself. So if it makes itself, then this will collect it into itself. So you want to have the collector be on the opposite, or be on the downside of the belt. And then these will all put their materials up here, and then they will just kind of go off back onto the belt somewhere up here. All right, so moving right along, we have our rockets. I don't think I brought any rockets up, so I'm just gonna, first I'm gonna check and see what kind of rockets we even have, because I have an upcycler down here for them. Where's that? Here? Oh, we have some blue ones. Awesome. Okay, and then this is going to be where our line ends. I'm just going to put these over here. Are you requesting in? Yes. Nice. Okay, so these can get in their rockets. And this will continue down, and that means this is where we merge here. Okay, that's starting to fill out. As for this, so we're going to just let these run right into this belt because we want these asteroids to be on the inside anyways, so we might as well just leave them here. That way, while we're tracking this belt, we don't have any kind of interruptions at all. And that's going to be great for us. So I'm going to use this as a spacer because this is going to kind of be where everything else comes in. Okay, and that is all the rockets we will need. As you can see, they have a little bit of a dead space, and that's fine because we are going to put some turrets on the other side of this belt. Speaking of turrets, I don't think I got any turrets either. No, I did not. What do we have? We have 50 blue. Nice. 12. We need a little bit more than 12. To be honest, like, the quality doesn't do that much for our... let's just get some. So the only thing that changes with quality is the range. The range and the base health. Like, it doesn't do more damage. That is the domain of our research. Oh, speaking of research, we should have something going. I kind of wish we'd gotten some of these going because this would be helpful on the ship because we can use the efficiency modules up here and it'll make it a little bit better. And you can kind of just get whatever you want. Spidertron? Yeah, that's great. Needs a raw fish. Oh, and a rocket turret. Whoops. Okay, so we need to use up this space, and we obviously have a few more things to get to. So this one is going to be our ice. We are going to specifically bring in ice chunks. We are going to have 6 of these. And same situation, we are going to have a potential output of these here. And have this bring it back in. And we're going to filter these for all the asteroids. We're only going to be outputting this one, but you never know when you might want to convert. So we might, you know, for instance, make this one, you could always add one of these to have some extra ice, or you could have one of these convert your ice into others, or, you know, or have the standard, this thing. And I have found that because these have 2 different ingredients, so it's one thing for this one, because this one's putting right onto the main line, but when we're going to have a situation where we're going to have a stack inserter here. Actually, you know what? We're not even going to limit this one. Yeah, this one's just going to go right under and right into this. So this is one of the maybe exceptions where you could maybe not do override stack size if you had 2 inserters. So one is going to be calcite and the other one is going to be ice. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could maybe alternate some of them just to try to keep it kind of balanced. Either way, we're going to be putting basically everything onto the outside of the belt as we can. And anything that we have that's extra, we're just going to chuck over the side. All right, and this is going to be our carbonic processing. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing with this side. Everything you can spit out, just spit it out. I would maybe consider putting, like, whichever one you think is the most important, you probably want to have on the outside. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it could matter. Oops. Sure, that works for me. Okay, and then we have room for whatever we need. Solar panels. I think I have some accumulators in here too. Yep. Nice. Okay, so now we just need to get some turrets out front. And I don't know how many of these we're going to need, but I do know that we are going to need some asteroid collectors. And we're going to have one of them. So the way that we're going to have this work is we're going to have an asteroid collector probably be right here. Do I have Epic yet? Nine. Almost. One more, buddy. Tell you what, watch this. Maybe that'll be enough to get us over the edge. Yeah, all right. And this is going to be here. And he will be allowed to put his just anywhere on the belt, and sorry, it'll be on the inside of the belt, but that can just fill up as much as we want. Okay, and then we're going to have another one here. And 2 in the front. I think that's centered. We kind of want more in the front. So like that's where most of our asteroids are going to be, right? So the more that we can have doing the dirty work up there, the better. And as for this one, it's going to be a little bit offset. This is going to drive me nuts. I probably should have had this one back. Let's do that. All right, and he can just output his on there. No, we'll leave the solar panels up for now, most of them. Because we still don't have any water. Not until we get some, oh, here we go. We got some stuff going along. No ice yet, though. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't set the recipes. Yeah, asteroid reprocessing, or sorry, asteroid productivity is your friend. That is a definite must. Why are we not researching anything? Oh geez, what are we not making? Well, that's unfortunate. There we go. It's okay, it's stacked. That's basically the equivalent of 4 belts coming in. All right, back to the ship. So, okay, we don't have any laser turrets. All right, so we're gonna need to filter the turrets. So the actual gun turrets, I want them focusing on the medium and the big metal chunks. And ignore everything else that's not that. As for the rockets, I want them to focus on the larger, the big ones. Now, it might be a waste for these to have, like, to put these on the big ones, but, I mean, it's not a big deal. You could maybe only have them do the medium ones, which is the ones that they are typically used for, or what they've been doing. And I guess for the small chunks, maybe we do the small ones too. And this guy needs to go in somewhere. How many is that? 1, 2, 3 that overlaps. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be somewhere in here. Oh, was that 10? We ran out. All right, that's fine. We can use one of these at the back side and one of these at the... Nope. Yeah, so we'll just do blue on the back. That's fine. And then they can go right onto the belt. Okay, so we still don't have any rockets. We still don't have any ammo. So, and I've tried making these on, like, above a different planet, and I promise you, you want to make these on Novice. Like, it's a complete pain if you're not on Novice doing this. Just because you have some of the bigger asteroids coming in, and they are not very nice asteroids. They're not here to play nice. And we still don't have water. Jeez, we need to get some of this ice in. There it goes. Hey, speaking of water, can you give us some power? We have power? We have steam. Awesome. So I can get rid of these solar panels. Okay. We are almost done. I know, this is a very long video. Okay, so... I mean, you can trim as much of the edges as you want. It doesn't really matter that much. We have accumulators that we can use to stuff in between different areas. Well, mostly. And we're going to have some extra room in here too. Okay, so this is not bringing in calcite. We do not have any calcite from this guy. We need more, come on, we need more ice chunks. All right, so we need a way to deal with these if we have too many. We also need a way of tracking these. So the way that we're going to deal with these if we have too many is obviously to just chuck them off the side. No. So I want one for iron. So this can be filtered for iron. And we're going to limit all of these, their stack sizes, to 8. No, not all of these is going to be iron. We're going to have iron. We're going to have calcite. We're going to have ice, just in case. Because we're basically doing the same thing that we did on Gleba. We're accepting everything and chucking everything that we don't want. We're going to have another iron. We're going to have a sulfur, carbon, a copper, and another iron. And I want to connect all of these. And have this read hold all belts. If iron ore is, oh my goodness. Yeah, if iron ore is greater than 200, start checking. Copper ore, we're also going to do 200. The rest, we're going to do 150. Excuse me. What did you... Do we not have any carbon? Sulfur, we're going to do 100. We don't need that much. This one is going to be 150. Ah, we did miss one. And the calcite is also going to be 150. Okay, so the last time I did this, I forgot to do greater than on one of them. So we're going to go through and double check. Okay, so these are all good. So we can kind of also get a visual of how like what do we have on our little like circular bus. We can definitely tell from whatever's here. Also, whatever it's chucking, you have to remember went past all of this to get there. And you can get a second option to catch it if you really want. Okay, so we still need calcite. Why do we not have calcite? These guys are sucking up all the cal. What? They don't have anything either. Oh, yeah, they do. They only have the oxidizer. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is going to take a bit of time for us to take off. I've also used walls in the past, and I don't really feel like using walls, so I'm not going to. On the other side over here, we're going to have a similar situation for the asteroids. Hold and read all belts. So if asteroid chunks are greater than... I mean, we can go high with these two. Let's just do 200 for each. Actually, the iron chunks, we could probably even go higher. And you know what? As I've said before, we're probably going to be fiddling with these, like both of these. You might have to adjust some. If you find your belt is clogging, then, you know, be sure and fix that. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to have a little extra power so we can get some laser turrets. I know they kind of suck. It is what it is. Let's see what kind we have. We're just going to go with the regular ones then. We still want to be able to protect our sides. As a matter of fact, I'm going to actually cut all of this. Yeah, you still want to protect your sides, like when you are, I don't know, like docked. That doesn't line up right. Oh. I'm over it. I'm over it. Moving on. Okay, and we're going to filter these for the smallest asteroid chunks. But only the ones on the front. The ones on the sides, I don't really, you know, whatever. They can do whatever they want. Oof. That's maybe gonna drive me crazy. No! Alright. Oh, I am... Okay, I'm just, you know what, I'm gonna leave it. It can stay. I'm not too concerned. I mean, I'm a little concerned, but I'm not too concerned. What if I do this instead? It's a janky fix, but it's a fix. Okay, I think that might be it. That is going to be our ship. We can fill the rest with accumulators, whatever space we have left. Oh, we need to do a limiter. Where's my decider combinators? Not a limiter, a check. Okay, so we're going to use this to check, and we're going to just kind of daisy chain this all the way over. Okay, so we need to check the fluid, we need to check the water, we need to check the fluid here. We also need to check the belt. So hold all belts. All right, so we need a couple of options. We're gonna have the green check. No, this is such a long video. Green check. We need, what all do we need? Water, we're just gonna do 20,000. Enable if water is over 20k. Enable if thruster fuel is more than 20k. Thruster oxidizer is over 20k. We need red ammo over 200. And rockets we're going to do over 200. Not ors, we're going to do ands. And then this just needs to somehow oh, no. This needs to be, I mean, I guess it can be. Why are you reading a chunk? Oh, that's just all the signals. Okay. All right. I believe that is it. I think that's everything. We are not making any rockets yet because we do not have enough water. Oh, didn't we have a bunch of asteroids? Did we not set up the... We did not. Okay, now I think we're good. Our carbon is going to get gobbled up here. And here. Nope. Stop eating all the carbon. There we go. So now this just needs water. Okay, so this is obviously going to take a while. Whew. All right, so that is going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to prepare to go to Aquilo and hopefully maybe even touch down. And hopefully the episode isn't an hour and what? Oh my. All right, so that took a lot of time. Maybe I should have had this as a two-part. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for this episode. I will see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.